Hello and welcome back to Rotten Rust Garage. This weekend, not a lot of time, but what little time I do have, I think the first good use of my time would be to go ahead and start cleaning up this engine bay, getting it a little more ready to put an engine in, even though it's just temporarily going in there. Still want it to look a little bit better, attack some of this rust, organize it a little better. There's some goofiness going on over the years of it being worked on, so I gotta see what I can do with that. Really want to get all the grease off the K-frame, and that's gonna take some doing. So really tedious and boring work, but it's got to be done just the same. If not now, when? So I guess I'll go ahead and get started. What is that? I don't really fit in here too well. But first things first, I need to get some of this grease off down here. And let me get a flashlight for you. That way, if I can get some of this grease off of this K-member, then I can kind of sit on it while I do both sides. You can see there's quite a bit of dirt and stuff in here. And it appears, hopefully this light without the flashlight's better. It appears that somebody shot some kind of dull paint all over in here at some point, probably when they put that 340 in and took out the tired 318 back in the day. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some black enamel in here. But while I got you in here, I'll show you some other weird things. So this is some kind of caulk that somebody put on there at some point. That one's already pushed through. 3 spaces of that. That one never sealed up. Also interesting is this kind of galvanized panel that's pop riveted on here, and that would not be a factory thing. So back here's obviously the heater core. I'm going to get these hoses out of the way, get all this wiring out of the way, the engine harness and everything, and that way I can kind of see what's going on. I can see that got siliconed into this position here, and I don't know why that happened. Maybe it was rotted right here. I don't know. If somebody's seen that done before, let me know. But it certainly looks like, well, this is where the ignition box was attached. And you can see it was also attached over here when I got the car. This is where it was. I moved it down here below this lip. So I'm going to take a lot of this stuff off of here just so I can see what's going on a little better. Get that painted back in these corners. There's some rust down on the frame rail down here. Get all that cleaned up. And along let me get the flashlight again. Along the underside of the trans tunnel, you can see there's some, that really didn't get any paint down there. So I'm going to get paint all over that. And again, just try and clean it up some. That metal shield is still there. It's pretty, just surface rust, but it needs to be cleaned up, get some paint on it. And same thing, this metal shield is missing. I need to find one of those. I'd probably have to go to year 1 or something, don't know. But yeah, it's not terrible in here, but it's a little grimy, so I'm going to get after cleaning that. So I think probably the best thing to do is go ahead and get this power steering reservoir out of here and get this reservoir pump out of here, because I eventually have to get these brackets off and swap them with the big block brackets. So the easiest thing to get it from flopping in my way is just go ahead and pull the hard pipe and the soft pipe, the return, which they're cracked up pretty good. So those would need to be replaced anyway. So, it's all got to come apart. So might as well just connect the return to the supply, the high pressure side, and this whole unit will be out of my way. So let me do that. All right, what size is this thing? Come on. There it goes. All right, don't want to spin, so let me get some lubricant. A little bit of PB Blaster should fix that. Get it to start, get the nut to start spinning around the pipe. There it goes. All right, don't need that one anymore. Get this return off of here. Would be nice to go ahead and have the return off of there so that I can just immediately slide it over the supply line. Boy, it's on there. There it goes. All right, there is the planned for spillage. And now, see, what did I do with my 5/8? There we go. Good God. Goodness. Why are you on there so much? You're rotted. Just get off of there. There, you're rotted. Stop pretending. Now, all of that just to use, all of that just to use a little piece of this heater hose, and I'll reconnect those. It just drained out a bit. It may not seem like a very big deal right up until you go, if it's disconnected and you turn that steering wheel, it's going everywhere. Don't ask me how I know, I just know. All right, the reason I'm doing all this is the old low pressure return line is so brittle that it won't, it's so rigid that it won't go over that supply line at all. And this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just getting me by. This hose is too big for this anyway. Yeah. That way if the steering wheel gets turned, I'm not spraying oil everywhere. Here we go. Slide that back. There we go. What a mess. All right, good enough. Wow, that was super easy. All right, I gotta get some brake cleaner going on where I just scraped all the dry stuff. Now, vacuum that out and then start brake cleaning. Get all this grease off here so I can shoot some black paint on there and keep on going. Didn't want that socket anyway. You are a 7/16, aren't you? Sure are. Oh, hell, don't even need a ratchet. Junk's not even on there. Great. Okay, so getting all that out of the way, it makes sense. This was an air-conditioned car. And so there's pop riveted aluminum pieces on here with some kind of caulk in there. Again, some rivets. And so all that was done after they yanked all the air conditioning out of here and probably cut a hole here, or that was actually the blower, I think, went there. So I don't know what's going on there. I probably have no blower. I got to get more familiar. Maybe I'll do some research on whether or not a B-body actually had a blower motor poking through right there. That seems like the logical place. Heater core's right there. So maybe it was an inside blower motor, but that's unusual. So got some figuring to do. You know, these bolts probably hold on the heater box underneath the dash. And man, I really don't want to take that out. But I may have to, just to learn what's going on back here before I, do anything crazy. Wouldn't be a bad idea to replace the heater core either. But I really don't want to use the heat in this car. I might not even hook that up. Whatever. All right, I've got enough in there to start sanding and cleaning and wire brushing, and I can go after it. All right, so I don't think this is the right battery tray. I don't think this is what came with the car, because I just pulled off an oddball carriage bolt that went through there, and there's like 6 holes back here. It just doesn't look right, and I could be wrong. Maybe this is factory original, but there's some other things that I'm seeing underneath of this battery tray that tells me it's not the right battery tray. So we're going to pull it out of here anyway, just to see what's going on underneath of it. Something ain't right. I don't know if it's even coming out of there. Uh-oh. Yeah, the U-bolt on the back of this is spun. Oh boy, it just keeps getting more fun. I think this has just been hacked in here. So that bracket's not going to come off. This bolt right here, because the U-nut on the back of it is spun. Great. And then way up underneath of it, oh, that one is really, really rusty. Let me see if I can get you down in there. Yeah, here. See if you can see how rusty that one is back there at the bottom. Oh, there we go. Not real good with my aim. Yeah, boy, I don't know if that one's going to come out or not. So I guess I'll just soak it down with PB and wait. But this one right up under here is just spinning free, because the U-nut is gone. So I'll just keep fighting this thing for a little while. All right, so got the battery tray out, and it put up a little bit of a fight, but luckily I got this rotted off bolt. It's really not a bolt, it's more of a screw, like a sheet metal screw with a bolt head. But anyway, this is what I was talking about. This is where a U-nut would go slide in there, and it would bolt through there, as well as I think the brackets are original to the car. And I think this bracket's original to the car. And so what I think really happens here is somebody got a different battery trace, and they just hogged out a hole there. Looks like it's been smashed with a hammer on both sides. And this is the bolt that won't come out because the U-nut on the back is messed up. So yeah, that's just like yeah, that's definitely not original. That's like some aluminum stuff. I don't know, but I could buy another one, the correct one. Not that it's super important to me, but I would like to have better battery hold downs, and it'll probably look better. But it was nice to get that out of there, because so now I can clean all up in here and take a look at this vacuum canister. I'd like to test it, pop one of these vacuum lines off, and get the vacuum gauge on it and see if it works. So cool, making progress, but got to stop for the day. So I have to get back at it tomorrow, get on the wire brushing, and just, I think I'm going to spritz some paint in here if I can get it clean enough. So we shall see. It's just going to take extra time, but all right, a little bit more and then I'm going to clean up and stop. Okay, well, I still got a long way to go getting this engine bay sorted and cleaned up. As I mentioned maybe in another video, I'm looking really hard right now at, obviously, I want to redo all the brake lines. Don't trust any of it, no need to. Get all new stainless stuff from like inline tube, something like that. But if I'm going to do that, then I need to make sure, I'm thinking about upgrading this to disc brakes. And now would be the time to do it, where I can get in here and really get it all, the brake lines, the distribution block. This has a single distribution block. I've done some research. A power disc brake car from the factory has that same distribution block plus another little, what do they call it? There's another little one that comes off it, so it necessitates a different brake line kit. I can't remember what that second little distribution block is called. But anyway, you know, I got to figure all that out. I got to do the math on what one's going to work with what disc brake kit I end up getting. And I want to do all that before the engine goes in. I need to get the car up in the air. I got to get the exhaust out from under it still. That's going to be a little bit of a chore because I want to try and save on that exhaust. It's a good 2.5-inch pipe and there's nothing wrong with it. Just obviously it's not going to fit with a big block. So I'll have to rework some of it. That's not going to be a big deal, but I need to get it out of here so I have more access under here. I really want this to look good. It does not look good in here at all, especially where they corned up the AC area. So I want to try and sand all that down. That's another reason to get the brake lines all out of the way to where I get back into this corner. Very busy corner back there underneath the brakes, the booster and the master cylinder. Obviously lines and wires, everything wants to be right there. Got to be kind of gentle with some of these old vacuum lines. They're actually still somewhat soft, so I'm going to save on those as best as possible. Disconnect them, get this canister out of the way, continue degreasing, then shoot some gloss black paint in here. Even going to do the front panel right here because this has, again, like somebody sprayed something in here that was like really dull over top of the shiny black paint, which I can start to see when I start sanding on it. I've been doing quite a bit of sanding off camera because this is kind of boring stuff for somebody to watch somebody sand. You don't want to see that. So seeing the shiny black under there, but then, you know, a lot of the surface rust and really just the years of grime. I need to get all that out of here. I want it clean. That's just one of my pet peeves. It's just a nasty, dirty engine bay. It would be fantastic to shove this thing back outside with a warm day, get the pressure washer on it. That would really do the trick. But since it's sitting here, I've got some other ways I can do it. Just, you know, using brake clean, acetone, etc. Get the K-frame all cleaned up. And all the bushings, everything looked pretty good. Eventually that's going to all get torn apart and upgraded with tubular lower control arms, etc., like QA1 style stuff. Not anytime soon. That gets a little pricey and I don't need any of that yet. I will once the engine's rebuilt and putting out some, you know, better ponies. I'm going to want that better control and I'm going to want upgraded brakes. So I'm going to start at the beginning and start working on all this. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the brake system apart in the next day or two and keep going. The other thing going on right now though is well, working on painting some old 80s rims that are really, maybe 90s, probably 90s rims for a truck. I'll show you that here in a minute, but this is my son's doings right here. He's been working on this yesterday and trying to get it all painted up and dolled up and looking good. And then we're gonna put that on his truck. He wants to go driving it. And then he's got to pull the front tires off and do the same thing. So we're sharing what little space we do have in this shop. So that's also going on. And I'll take you outside here in a second and show you what's going on with that truck. Wow, it is a beautiful day outside, and it really is terrible to be inside the garage. But this is what I was talking about. It's a 78 step side W150. And my son's working on it. I bought it a couple years ago. He's turning 16 and he really wants this truck, and I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. So some of the things that we needed to do though, as I mentioned, these 90s-ish rims, they're really, let me get out of the way there, kind of rusty and terrible, and somebody had already primed or painted on them a little bit. Anyhow, I'm gonna just paint those black for time being until we can get after some better rims. But good little truck, and it's got a 360 in it. Let's see if I can get this hood open. It's really heavy in this. Yeah, rained a little bit last night. Had to mess with this quite a bit. It had lots of ignition and wiring issues from the previous owner. Had to fix on the ballast resistor wire. They had just twisted two wires together, no solder or anything, and that's not going to work. You need to have good solid contact for that ballast resistor. This wire right here for the jumper wire over to the starter relay from the battery post here, that's how they did it at 78. That wire was barely hanging on by a thread, and we were wondering why we couldn't get a good start. So found that issue, cleaned all these contacts, went ahead and put new battery terminals on it for quick disconnect, and they've got a real good bite on there now. Redid all this. The positive battery cable was really super corroded, so I cut that back, got the clean wire. And the body ground was super corroded. Got that fixed up. Same thing with contacts here, and also to the engine. So now it fires up pretty good, and it's gonna be a good little truck for him. So he's gonna be out here in a little while to work on this some more, and then take his mom for a ride in it. So I might have to stop what I'm doing and help him out, but that's okay. It's kind of fun. So our plans with this truck, let me show you, like somebody did a clear coat job on it in the 90s, and that's obviously all peeling off. Our plans, I don't like the red at all. It's terrible. My son doesn't like it either. Plans are to sand all this clear coat off, do the body work necessary, and we're going to do this basically satin black, just like the hood is. The hood was really messed up when I picked up the truck, and I fixed on that and got it painted satin black. It looks better. The roof of this thing was red, and I had to sand all that off, and the seam sealer was all gone, so I put some more seam sealer in it. That's just primer on there. I got to shoot it with silver paint. I don't know if I got a good match or not, but it's going to be good enough. And yeah, we're just going to clean off these brake pads. I see some cracking on that one. It's got some meat on it still, but got a new set inside the truck, so we can put those on. Probably not today though, but anyway, some work to do on this. I'm gonna turn those satin black. It'll look good with the black rims for now, and it's gonna be a cool truck. So I'll add a bunch of video of this going forward. Paint the tailgate black. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, now enough with all that other updates. I'm gonna just go ahead and vacuum out all the sanding dust real quick, and then get back after cleaning some more. And it's so nice out, I had to open up the garage door. It's like 60 degrees out. That's awesome. So bear with me, gotta vacuum this out. All right, Killian's out here putting his wheels on. You can see the black paint looks a whole lot better. And this old crap, he'll get these next. Those are terrible. But these will be fine for what we're doing. Had to get new tires on it because the other ones were junk. Way too old. All right, warming this thing up now. Give it a little bit. Just got done doing some adjusting on it, and now he's ready to go driving around the neighborhood. Still got to get plates for it this week, but nah, details, right? Man, that back wheel, that really brought that thing around. We'll probably keep on those now. They look so dorky, they look so 90s. Now that they're black, they look pretty good. Be awesome on the rest of the fenders black. That is just heinous. That's terrible. But hey, gas? Huh? Gas? Yeah, we got some. We'll throw some in it. Let's do that. Hey, the reverse lights work. That's pretty cool. Nice. Haha, Mom's going for a ride with him. Have fun, buddy. Don't scare your mom. Alright, I'm getting a lot of interruptions today, but I gotta climb back in here and keep going. Alright, had the camera off, got the canister out over here for the vacuum system. Got a lot more of the wiring harness unclipped. Not gonna quite bust into these brakes yet. Want to get some sanding done, but I gotta get more of this grease cleaned off of the steering linkage because it's everywhere, man. It's just gotta get a little more of the K-frame cleaned off too. Then I can start shooting some paint in here. Maybe later this week. We'll see. Yeah, just keep on going. One of these days this will have to come out whatever this was done for. But not today. I'm gonna shoot some paint over it, call it good. This needs to be sorted out. What? They're just wound together. I guess they must have changed this at some point. Maybe there was a connector originally, I don't know. Might investigate finding one though. I don't know why this would have been hacked into. It was very poorly done though. So, yay. I'll rewrap all this and get these actual butt spliced, or find a 4-pin connector that I could maybe order another wiper motor. I don't know. Look it up online and see if it has the connector there, and then I'll know what kind of connector to look for. Figure it out. It's kind of the least of my concerns. Okay, so sanding around back in here, I knocked out where somebody had put in some sort of caulk here. That looks like a factory hole. Same thing here, and you can see there's still one there where they filled in some sort of factory hole. This one's smaller. Maybe it's like a hole for an insulation pin. Those poke through on the firewall in a couple places. But what this tells me, probably along with these filled in areas, that the air conditioning under dash unit probably bolted up in here and had the heater core piping coming out here or here, and then obviously for the AC, the condenser, whatever. I'm not an AC guy, but that was probably coming out here, and all this was probably open up for something else, maybe the fan. I really don't know. I've never really got my eyes too good on an air conditioned charger firewall, so just kind of deducing that from what I'm looking at here. So obviously I'm not going to do anything about this. I do have on the heater box inside, there is a part number that I'm going to run and see. Obviously I think somebody changed this to a non-AC heater box when they did all this, because they couldn't have put these panels in without the heater box out of the car, right? Makes sense? So because it's behind the firewall. Gonna leave it as it is now. Lots of additional holes through the years where the ignition box, whatever, got screwed in, ballast resistor, etc. So gonna pretty much leave a lot of that. Right now I'm gonna start getting the brake lines out of the way, get this distribution block out of the way, get the master cylinder out of the way. That way I can finish cleaning up back in this corner here, and hopefully getting closer to just throwing some paint on. Down here you can see there's quite a bit of rust on the frame rail, all just surface rust. Just needs to be cleaned up really good, and get these brake lines out of the way. Probably get it up in the air, get the front wheels off of it, a little bit better access, and just continue cleaning. It's a long and tedious process, probably not very fun to watch. Now, as one would expect, none of these brake lines want to cooperate at all, and that's fine. I fully expected that. That one can stay on because it's going up to the master cylinder. So can this bottom one, but these other ones got to come off. Now, I don't know why I'm being careful with these, because I'm going to order all new brake lines for this thing, probably today or tomorrow, but it's just a thing that I do. I don't know why. It is not easy to get in here. Wait, that's not 3/8. All right, let's try this one. 7/16 maybe. Yeah, there we go. So this one's coming free okay. Just a matter of getting it off of there. See why it's a lot easier with the engine out. Not something I want to mess with the engine in here. And I want all new brakes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm pretty sure this back one's going to rip right off of there, but that's okay. The new brake line kit. Well, I really didn't. The new brake line kit will have, all right, this goes out to the front left. New brake line kit will have all the way to the back, full line. And this is broke free, but it's trying to spin the line as well, which it's just gonna have to. Yeah, it's twisting the hell out of the line. Let me get a pair of pliers. Oh, there it goes. Broke off. All right. Now the front left has got to come off of there. Let's see about this one. That one came free. I broke these free with a flare nut wrench. Very little fluid coming out, and that is not a surprise. The master cylinder is empty, and brake lines are all just absolutely junk. Just way brittle, rotted out. Not something you would want to use. So now I need to get a socket, 1/2 inch. That should all come right out of there. Yep, got the 3 of them busted free. So let me, instead of climbing out back out of here, let's just see if I can get this thing on here. Get this speedo cable out of my way. And get this whole distribution block out of here. Oh, why does that feel like it's spinning on the back side? Please, no. Oh, it's good. It's coming out. One of them all-day bolts. Come on. Too loose for a wrench, too tight for my fingers. All right. So the distro block is free now. And the only thing holding it in there is nothing. Just wedge, that's all. All right, she's out of there. All right. Now, I'll get these. I'll get this rear brake line out of the way down below. I'll get the rear brake line out of the way down here so I can get some good paint on. Get the rest of these little things out of the way, and now I can get back in here. Get this whole brake line off of the firewall all the way over to the the passenger side front, and keep on pressing on. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I did get a heck of a lot done, but I'll be honest, a lot of the cleaning in the engine bay, yeah, I put some of the video in, but I did a lot of it off video. It is very time consuming and tedious because I really want that clean and looking good in there. It's a small thing maybe, but it's really important to me, and it's something I don't want to have to revisit in the future, right? So I really don't want to cut corners there. But I'm getting a lot closer and getting more stuff out of the way, as you just saw. So hopefully, maybe in the next week or two, start getting some paint on there, at least some primer, and I'm going to start working on getting the exhaust out from under it, getting the spindles off. I got to get a bunch of parts ordered for the whole brake system and the brake lines, etc. I could make my own brake lines, but I want professional looking brake lines. That would stand up to like a restoration type grading, because inline tube does just that. And yeah, I've done brake lines a bunch of times. You probably saw it on earlier video with the 82 Ram Charger. Not a big deal. I just want the perfect fitting stuff, and I really just not gonna cut a corner there, which if I made them would be totally cutting corners. But anyway, yeah, a lot more to do still, a lot to go. So really appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining me, and please like and subscribe, and join me next weekend as I take it even further. So have a great day.